The meeting is in recording mode now. So, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining our vocational services seminar. We have our guest speaker, Dr. Faz, who would be talking about the importance of what a true influence is on mankind and how we can benefit from that right influence that is the need of the hour. And I thank Andrew Rotterman, our Assistant Governor of District 5170. Thank you, sir, for joining us today. I call this meeting to order, and I would also request everybody on Zoom to please raise their hand for the four-way test. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you. And I would also like to request our Vocational Services Chair, Mr. Dushyant Naidu Garu, to actually say a couple of things about our vocational services at Rotary Club of Silicon Andhra, and also introduce our guest speaker, Dr. Faz. Thank you.
Hello all, good evening. My name is Dushyant Naidu Paligaram. Dr. Faz, are you with us?
Yes.
We don't see you.
Yes, I turned off my camera because of your opening of your meeting.
Sorry?
No, you can just, I thought that
Okay.
I have to go off of the way.
Oh, okay, perfect. Okay. Thank you. Nice seeing you, nice talking to you. So I would like to introduce Dr. Faz. Dr. Faz is a highly accomplished trainer, international inspirational speaker, and executive success coach. His company Learn to Grow, Rich and Worldwide Success Academy provides executive coaching and training in leadership, communication, and human behavior. He also is an executive director with the John Maxwell Company, with 40 years of experience in Fortune 100 companies, and as a founder of 3 companies, Dr. Faz has acquired a healthy pulse on the many challenges that corporations and small businesses must conquer to remain healthy and competitive. His diverse experience from 20 years of sales and business here in US, combined with past 20 years passion for helping and adding relief in pain in people as a medical doctor, helps him to understand the direct challenges and opportunities that exist for business owners, executives, and leaders in both their personal and professional life. He has an MD in health sciences and MBA in global management. He lives out his mantra, yes, you can, by empowering others to discover, embrace, and boldly live to their fullest potential. Without any further ado, I would like Dr. Faz to add anything more and then start today's wonderful topic, how to become a person of influence. Thank you, Dr. Faz.
Thank you very much. I truly appreciate for inviting me here. Do you recall when your parents would tell you not to stay away from certain places and stay away from certain people because of their bad influence, or it was not a great place for a kid to go and get potential problems? So my friends, you have seen since your childhood, our parents try to protect us from the bad influence. So it means influence works in our life, keep in mind. And according to my business partner and my guru and my teacher, John Maxwell, who's my mentor personally, he writes in his best book, which he ever written for the leadership, 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. The first thing he lives, everything rises and falls on leadership. Whether it's a family, it's a community, it's a club, it's a country, it's an organization, it's your own business, Everything rises and fall on leadership. So my point is, what is leadership? Leadership is influence. Nothing more, nothing less. So my friends, that's why we have this important topic to discuss this evening or this afternoon. You guys are in California and I'm in East. So my name is Dr. Faz Mehmood.
Can I use the screen share?
My name is Dr. Faz Mehmood, and I'm very humble and honored to be here along with you all this afternoon to spend with you. And I promise you, in next 45 minutes to 50 minutes max, I'm not going to go that far long, so you don't have to worry about. I'm going to keep in time. I'm going to talk about the most important subject for all of us, how to become an influential person in our life. Because that's the most important quality every leader needs. And because we all influence, regardless whether we want it or we don't, in our regular life. If you are a family person, you are influencing your family members. If you are in a community, you are also influencing your community fellows. If you are working in a organization, you are influencing your colleagues. So regardless, whatever we do, we influence people. I'm not talking about good or bad. We'll go in that later on, but still we are influencing. So influence, let me give you a great code about influence. That influence means your life has so much dominion that even death cannot destroy it. That's what we leave as a legacy when we die. That was our influence, which talks after we leave this world. So, but most of the time, people confuse influence with the popularity, that how popular you are and how influential you are. These are two different things, my friend. Influential people, not necessarily very popular, but they are impactful. Keep in mind, you impact people when you become influential. So that's why it's very important. So now today we are going to try to help to better understand influence. And also I will try to help you to increase your influence with others. So before we go there, let's do our personal influence inventory. Number one, we have to ask ourselves, who do I influence? We have to know that. So principle, always keep in your mind, as a leader, I attract who I am, not who I want. Keep in mind, you always influence the people who you are rather than who do you want. So we have to make sure, are we influencing leaders or followers? Are we influencing thinkers or doers? Are we influencing secure and insecure? Are we influencing successful or unsuccessful people? There are so many kind of peoples around. Are you influencing givers or takers? And just for a joke, are you influencing eagles or turkey? Keep in mind. So we have to understand who we are influencing, number one. And second question we have to ask to do our inventory, how do I influence others? Because that's going to indicate how many and how long and how effectively I'm influencing people. There are 7 different ways people do influence, according to the research by UCLA. So let's talk, there are 7 different people, and I'm going to go from worst to the best. So keep in mind, I'm going to start with the worst one. The worst way to influence people is called force. They want to influence people by force, which is the ugliest and worst way to influence someone. So obviously, they don't give a choice to anyone. They just want to be the influencer just by force. It doesn't work most of the time. Then the second way, which is a very common and very usually you see in your corporate environment, because you all are professional people and you have seen that and you have an experience, obviously, some point of your life, in your work, that's called intimidation. My way or highway. How many times you heard from your boss? You had to do this way, otherwise it's not going to work. So they intimidate you to influence you. But again, it's not a great way to influence. It's a bad way. Then there is another way, which is again, like you see frequently in your life, is called manipulation. People manipulate you to influence you because there is a very, very fine line between motivation and manipulation. And sometimes you get stuck that somebody is motivating me, but actually they are manipulating you to get their job done, not your job done. And they try to influence you by manipulation. Now we are getting better still from the force to manipulation. The fourth common way to people influence is called positional. And every single influencer, you name it, every single person, most of the time, a good influencer starts from that level because you have been hired as a manager somewhere, for example, or you have been selected or elected in a position in an organization. Now you have a position. People are going to follow you. People are going to listen you. People are going to look at you. But again, keep in mind, you are not influencing because they have no choice. Because you have the position, your title and your position makes you to do that. So obviously, they have to follow you. But again, there is another level when you go further, then it's called exchange level, where you clearly build some relationship with your team. So then it turns into a win-win situation. Okay, you get some and I get some out of that. And that makes it a little easier for you. And you are getting better and better as an influencer now, from worst to the best. We are still traveling there. Then next level, which you use, is persuasion. You persuade people because in position, they have to follow you. Now they want to follow you because you build the relationship and you got some sweetness in your relationships with these people, with your teamwork, team players and team members. And now they, like usually in corporation, I have this experience so many times. When you go in a corporation where there is no influence there or there is no leadership environment there, what happens? People are done at 4 o'clock. They want to get out as quick as they want, they can from the office, because that's the best time of the life is going to start after 5. So what they do is they start packing up, and then they take 30 minutes just packing up their stuff, and they start changing their shoes to go gym, and then they go for the pee on the also office time, and then they say goodbye to each other. And by 4:55, boss is looking all over and nobody is there. He's by himself because everybody left. And worst part is even they park their car by reversing the car. So they don't even want to waste their extra minute to get out of there. But once you build this persuasion level, then the same guy who was not willing to even sit an extra minute in that office comes to you. Boss, it's 4 o'clock and I still have 1 hour, more hour to go. Do you want me to do something? Do you have anything in your mind? He's giving you the permission. So it means you are building your influence as a leader. But last but not the least is the most important part, which is very, very uncommon and very rare. Only a couple percent of the people they get to that is called respect level, which is you have done so long for so many years, so much, you don't have to do anything. People will do for you. Like you take an example of Martin Luther King. You take an example of Nelson Mandela, Gandhi, all other, Mother Teresa. They are not even no longer in this world, but people are carrying their legacy and their name because they have done so long and so much and so much. So my point is you get that influence just by getting the respect out of that. So these are like 7 different levels. And let me just go a little bit in detail to that. There are 4 ways people build their influence. Number 1 is called model. You model someone. For example, you like some leader and you want to be like them. You just model them in your mind. I want to be like that. Then second call is motivation. That's how you influence people, by motivating people. And the third level, which I see, if you want to go over that, is technically you have to basically nurture them, and you have to show them the way, which is basically if you go mentoring, which is, you heard that word, you mentor people so you can have your influence. And last but not the least, which is called multiplying. Then, so all these different levels of 4 levels we will consider in the next few minutes, and I will go through that very quickly. It's a very vast subject. I usually take a whole day workshop on these, and I talk one at a time, but we will try to give you a brief everything overview of all these things. So let's get to the next level. What we have to do is, like we said, who do you influence? That's a question we ask. So make sure uh, you can influence the people like yourself, because that's how you attract people. So the first thing what you need is to become a better influencer. You have to become better yourself so you can influence better people. So make sure you have to grow before you help and you influence people. You have to grow yourself, because you have to grow up to go up in your life. So make sure we are working on that. If we can lead ourselves, how we can lead anyone else? Just keep in mind, you cannot lead anyone. It's real simple. It starts with simple things like showing up on time. Like I have this so many times when I go and do these coaching and sessions and training sessions in different corporations. And I asked the different bosses, okay, what do you want to, what you're expecting from your team? They gave a whole grocery list to me. I want my all subordinates should be punctual. They have to be honest. I said, let me ask you one thing. You wrote all these things. Can I ask you one question? Are you honest? Are you punctual? Do you fulfill your commitments? Do you keep your promises? And if you don't, how you're going to influence them? So first, you have to grow yourself in your own. So make sure if you show up on time, then you can ask for it. If you are honest, you can ask for honesty and integrity. And unfortunately, a lot of time they all lack in something one way or another. So now, like I was telling you about, I have a very vast subject which I usually talk is called 5 levels of leadership, which is part of influence, but that's a separate subject on leadership. So that's how, but I'll give you a quick glimpse on that so you can understand what are those 5 levels of leadership. So like the base and bottom line, which we just spoke about, position leader. You got a position now, you have subordinates to follow you, but it doesn't make you leader, but still they have no choice. They are going to follow whatever you're going to tell them. So my point is that's a position leader, that's a bottom and baseline leadership. You have to grow from there to the next level, which is called permission leader, where you build your relationships, like I mentioned you, and then you build an environment where people will come to you and ask you to tell them what they have to do. Like I said, if he's done at 4 o'clock, he's going to walk in your office, boss, I have still 1 hour more hour to go. Do you want me to do something? Means he's giving you the permission. So this is your next level of respect. Now, the third level is called production level, where I can say, okay, come on here, my friend. I'm your boss, but at the same time, we are good friends. We have a good relationship. Let me show you what to do and how to do this job, because I'm the boss. I have to know that. So I'm going to show you exactly how it has to be done. And now you're watching me. And in this phase, yeah, there are a few levels. Like first thing, which I mentioned you, again, I'm going a little fast, so please forgive me because I have no that much time to go in detail. But first thing first, I do. This is the first formula of that production level. I do. Then second level is I do and you are with me. Means you watch and I will show you. The third is you do and I'm with you. And the fourth level is you do. And fifth level is you do and somebody else will be with you. Means you are trying to show the production, how to create that production for your organization and whatever the work you want to get done through your subordinates. So you're teaching them, you're mentoring them. You follow my point? And the next level is called people development, which works as a people development, because whatever you're showing them and what you're telling them how to do it, now you have a right to ask them that, listen, I'm your boss, I'm your friend, I showed you how to do this job, now just do it. And I'm watching you. And last but not the least, again, like I said, the respect level. You have done so long for so many and so much, you don't have to do anything. People will do it for you. So these are the 5 levels of leadership, which we teach in hours and hours. Every level needs at least extra hour to go through. So these 5 levels of leadership, they go like that. So now we are talking, I'm going to challenge you because you all are very professional and corporate people, and obviously you all are influential people. According to in research by the UPenn, University of Pennsylvania, an average person, listen me carefully, an average person influences at least 4 people a day, average person. And to me, it's a very low number. If you are a mom, forget it. You influence like 100 times a day. So people, that's a very low number to me. But an average human being almost influences 10,000 people in his lifetime, an average. But you guys are not average. You have to keep in mind. You are thought leaders. You're leaders. You're professionals. You're highly educated and highly accomplished people. So just multiply how many times you do. So how important is that to learn that skill, how to increase your influence? Because you are impacting and you're affecting so many people's life in your lifetime. So there are 10 ways we can improve our influence. And I'm going to go through that, and I will highly recommend you just do your own assessment, because you have to be accountable to yourself. So you can realize where I am standing in those 10 areas. Number one area, you have to be, if you want to be an influencer, you have to have an integrity in your life. All right. If you don't have an integrity, people can see through you. You're not going to influence people. People think that people cannot see us, but that's totally absurd, and they are wrong, because people are so visual, believe me or not. People don't listen, people don't read, but people see. That's why you see on social media, what's the most popular social media is nowadays is YouTube. Nobody wants to read on Google now. You just go on YouTube and see what you want to see, period. So exactly when in your normal life, an average person, when you're talking to someone, they are looking at you and they want to see how honest you are. People don't buy in your vision. People don't buy in your mission. People don't buy your product unless and until they buy in you, because they have to trust you first. So my point is, always integrity should be your first priority to be an influencer. So once you get to that level, then second thing, you have to assess yourself, how do I nurture my people? Whoever I influence, do I nurture them? Because people want to care. They don't want to be managed. They want to be led by you, because you guys are leaders. That's why I said leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. So as a leader, it's your responsibility to lead them, not to manage them. They don't want to be managed by you, that and you are just dictating them to do this and do that. No, you have to lead them. And how you're going to lead them? By nurturing them. You have to help them to grow. And you have to take them to the next level, wherever they are in their life. You have to help them to grow. So that's a nurturing part. The third, which we also recommend, and everybody should have that if you want to become an influencer. First thing first, you have to have a faith in yourself. Number one. Also, you have to have a faith in your Almighty, whoever you believe in, whoever you think that is your God. And last but not the least, the most important point is you have to have a faith in those people who do you want to influence. If you don't trust them and if you don't have a faith in those people, do you think you can influence? My friends, if you are antagonizing somebody, you cannot influence. You have to have a faith and trust in those people. How you're going to build that, that's another question. But first thing first, you have to have a faith in your people so they can realize that you care about them. So let's go to the next level. When you have a faith, what happens nowadays? You all guys are professional people. Let me ask you one question, and I believe you all are very well aware of. You see the balance sheet of your any company and any organization. If when you read the balance sheet, there is a column called assets. What is written there most of the time? Anyone would like to answer? What is written on the asset column?
The things that you have in the company.
Yeah, the desks and computers and machines and everything. Do you think these are real assets for your corporation or your business? See, most of that stuff is depreciating day by day, but the people are growing, they are going up. But unfortunately, this is the saddest part of our society. The people are made to love and things are made to use. Unfortunately, we are using people and loving our things. That's the problem. So we have to have a faith in those people first. If you want to get the best results out of your team and you want to influence them in a positive way, make sure you have to have a faith in those people. These are the real assets, keep in mind. Now, what happened in leading others, we should not have three kind of feelings in ourselves. Number one, if you want to lead people and you want to influence people, number one, you don't have to have a fear in yourself. Like, don't have a fear. If we are afraid of people, we cannot confront them. So you have to make sure you are fearless leader. You are an influencer, but you have no fear. Then you don't have to dislike anybody. When you dislike someone, you cannot influence them, period, because they are going to say, you don't even like me. Who the heck you are? Why I'm going to follow you? So you cannot have your influence while you don't like someone. And the last always is called contempt. Don't look down to the people. All right. You always value them. If you value your people, people will value you and they are going to follow you. Unfortunately, most of the time people think that if I'm going to sit in this position for a long time, I'll be fine. Everybody's going to follow me. I'm going to be the biggest influencer because I got a title, I got a position. And that doesn't work. If you don't grow yourself and if you don't trust your people, nobody's going to respect you. Nobody's going to get you to the next level of leadership. So my point is you have to believe in your people and you have to value your people and you have to like those people. Who do you want to lead? So make sure we are working on that part. Then the next level after the faith, you have to listen to the people. And that's the worst part. I mean, I have really years and years and years, and still I have a little bit weakness in listening part. Unfortunately, we don't listen people. We just, when I'm speaking with you, you are hearing my voice sometime, but you're not listening. You're thinking your next question or something else in your mind. So you're not paying attention. So that's another problem. And that's the most common complaint you heard in your work environment. Nobody listens to me, man. Nobody cares about me. Nobody listens to me. Why? Because that's true fact. People don't listen because people think communication means speaking. That's quite wrong. Communication is a two-way skill. Speaking and listening. Speaking is sharing, listening is caring. People don't care how much do you know, but people do know how much do you care. So you make sure you listen carefully, people. When you listen carefully, people will love you, people will respect you, and people will follow you. So make sure listening is the main skill. And now this question also I get all the time. Okay, Dr. Faz, tell me, how I can improve my listening skills. Because we all have this weakness, like I told you, I myself is the worst, and I improve day by day, year by year, and now I'm better than, way better than whatever I was. So we all can improve. It's a learnable skill. So let me give you an acronym. If you follow that, I challenge you. I mean, if you follow that and you keep your attention to that, you will improve your listening skills. And it's called ladder, like a ladder, LADDER. The first L stands for look at the speaker. While you're talking to someone, whether one-on-one or you're on stage or whatever the situation is, look at the speaker. Means you're paying attention. So when you pay attention to the speaker, your chances of speaking gets lesser. So you're now listening. Then the next alphabet is A, ask question. Because when you ask question, it means your chances of speaking is get lesser, and you are going to listen that guy or that person who is in front of you, whether you are on one-on-one conversation. Then other D stands for once you ask question, then do not interrupt. Let them finish what they want to tell, because you asked the question, you want to get the answer now. So pay attention to that and don't interrupt. Then there is another D in that letter that stands for do not change the subject. Keep it on that subject. Let's make it clear. So clarity should come there. And that's how they are going to accept your influence. Then E stands for your emotions. Check your emotions. What is emotion? Most of the time people, they ask me this question. Emotion is nothing, my friends. It's energy in motion. When energy comes in motion, for example, I'm very happy, ha, 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 ha. See, my emotions given there, or I'm so glad, or I'm so tired. You see through my body language, and people are looking at you. Like I said, look at the speaker. So the speaker is going to show his energy, and you are going to be contagious with that. You have to show the same response. So emotions, you pay attention to your emotions as well as your speaker's emotions. And last but not the least, the R stands for responsive listening. So once you heard the whole story without interrupting, without changing the subject, and you involve emotionally into that, empathize it, then whatever response you are going to get is going to be what? Automatically, you become an influencer for someone because you have done the same, all these steps. So to improve your listening skills, follow this. This worked so well, I did. Then again, there are four things you have to keep in mind. You want to become a better listener, which is very important at your workplace, in your family. Most of the social problems, most of the, you say professional problems comes because of we don't listen to each other. So if you want to become a better listener, I'll give you a formula of 4H. The first H is heart. Think about it. What is in their heart? Try to feel it. What's their feelings are, what they have in their heart. Then the other H stands for hope. What they are expecting out of me. What are their hopes of me? Not my hopes of them. Keep in mind, everything is about others, not about myself. Then the third H stands for what is their hurt? What's their pain? What's the problem? What's bothering them? Feel their pain. And last but not the least, now you say, how can I help them? Help. So if you do those 4H's, you are automatically turned into an influencer for someone because you felt that, you felt, you saw their hope, what they are expecting off of you, and you felt their pain also and the hurting. And now you are offering, how can I help you? Do you think you're going to miss that person off of your influence? No. So this is another way. And now let's go to the next point. After listening, the next thing which we have to do out of those 10 ways, the other way is called understand people. You have to understand people before you influence them. If you don't know those people, how you're going to influence. So how we are going to see how we can understand people? That's a very, again, you're going to say, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a scientist, so I have to understand all that. It's very simple. If you want to understand somebody's mindset, or somebody, you want to read somebody's mind, always ask for their achievements, what they have achieved in their life. That's going to show what kind of a person he or she is. But if you want to see somebody's heart, ask about their dreams, what they dream for. It's a big difference. So when you want to influence somebody, you have to win the heart before you win the mind, because they are dreamers. Everybody dreams. Okay, everybody has a right to think, and they have to think that they are somebody in their life, whether we believe or not, but they think themselves that they are somebody. So we are giving that opportunity to feel what their dreams are. So people are going to look at you. Then make sure, take that fear and selfishness out of yourself when you try to influence those people and you want to understand people. See, now this is a very common question which I get: how I can understand people? What are the key factors I have to understand? So I usually say, whenever you meet somebody new, or even a lot of time people do interviews, especially on social media nowadays, everybody is on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and they try to interview people. My friends, first question you have to know about anyone is called background. I'm not saying background by this caste or country, or no. Background means their journey to the level where you're meeting now. You can ask, tell me about your journey. How did you get here? So it's going to give you the whole detail of his whole journey. Then second thing is, we have to ask about, tell me about your personality. What are the key factors? Are you stubborn? Are you, I mean, a playful guy? Are you this kind? I mean, you have to know about their personality. All right. Then I always ask this question, and you can also, what is your giftedness? Because God gave everyone, whoever you believe as a God, he or you all have a Bill Gates inside you. You all have a Mark Zuckerberg inside of you in a different way. They revealed it, you didn't yet. So you have one quality. That's why you are unique among 7.5 billion people in today's date on this planet. Nobody is another Dr. Faz or anybody else, because you are unique. That's your power. So what is your giftedness? What is the best, what you do best? Whenever you do, whatever you do best. And there will be something in you which you maybe didn't reveal yet, but focus on that and you'll find it. So your giftedness, and then check your attitude, what kind of attitude you have. So if you understand all these things, then ask most important question, who who influences you? There must be somebody in the life who influenced everybody, correct? Sometimes we say my mom, my dad, my father, my uncle, my neighbor, my teacher, whoever. So try to find out who influences them. And once they tell you one or two or three persons, say, what was the best thing you were influenced by? So now you are trying to understand those people because you want to influence them too. So you are finding the hard button for that. So, and then you can influence easily. Then next, which I will say, the factor among that 10 is called enlarging others. Like you have to enlarge people. Now you're going to say how? Because you have to know your purpose in life. If you know the purpose in your life, and then you grow to the maximum potential, and then you sow seeds to benefit others, that's how you enlarge people. So you have to, once you interview these people, you talk to them, you understand them, you listen already that, and you have an integrity and you're nurturing them, then you can help them to enlarge themselves. People love those people because they want to be somebody. Like I said, everybody needs to recognize by others that he is somebody. So make sure you are trying to assure them that they are somebody and they are ready to get to the next level if they will do that. So my point is, you enlarge people, and once you enlarge people, then there is another factor which you have to be aware of yourself as an influencer, that you have to navigate for people. And that's a very important thing in life as a leader. It Anybody can steer the ship. Anybody can steer the ship, but it takes a leader to navigate the course. So just having steering in your hand doesn't make you the real leader unless you don't know where you're going and where you're leading people behind you. So you have to learn how to navigate the course. How you can become a good navigator? Number one, you can see the problem ahead than anybody else because you're a leader. You have a vision. You have a vision. So you can visualize what can happen. So you have to lead them in a way so you can avoid all those hurdles and problems and mistakes which anybody can make. So make sure you know the way, you go the way, and you show the way. That's how you have to do. So you can see the problem ahead and avoid it. Then you can experience the problem and fix it. If you have been through, because as a mentor, as a leader, I say it, you already been through that. So make sure fix it so they don't get that problem which I have been through. Then cannot see the problem or fix it, then what happens? They get overwhelmed. So try to avoid that. A leader is one who see more than others see. A leader is one who see farther than others see, and the leader who sees before than others see. So if you want to be influencer, you have to learn and you have to basically improve those qualities in your life, and then you will see. The next level to become an influencer is called connecting with people. Like I said, when we communicate, we just speak. And while somebody else is speaking to you, you're thinking different things in your mind. So the problem is everyone communicates, very few connect. And that's the problem of most of the social problems in our life. Even as a wife, husband, as a parent with your kids, they both are complaining that you don't understand me, what I said, and you don't listen me carefully. So my point is we are not connecting. That's creating all these problems. So connecting, how it comes. Number one is credibility, and plus communication is equal to connecting. So you have to create the credibility and then you have to communicate it right. Then you will connect with the people. And again, that takes a lot of steps. It's a whole subject we teach. Again, everyone communicates, we connect. It's a communication thing, subject. But there are so many things you can do to connect with people, that always think about others, not about yourself. Communication is all about others, not yourself. So make sure. Number two, don't hear, try to listen. We just hear the noises, but we don't listen carefully. All right? We don't wait. We start talking before even they finish. So make sure, don't make assumptions before they shut up. When they give you the chance and when they give you the pause, then you do your assumption because they're not finished yet, and you start making your own judgments. Don't be judgmental with others. That's how you're going to lose your influence. Otherwise, uh, relationships, you have to know, as to connect with people, you have to sacrifice. Unfortunately, most of the time, leadership is mistaken as a privilege. People think leadership means privilege. I have a title, I have this, where's my parking spot, and oh, what perks do we have? No, 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 no. Higher you go, lesser the choices are. Options are less because it's a pyramid. When you go higher, Your choices are getting lesser and your toll is getting higher. You have to pay more price to get the higher level. And that turns into responsibility. Now, it's not a privilege. More you go up, more you will be responsible for all. So better you try to avoid that. So this is an important thing. If you want to connect with people, you have to have a humility. You have to have a better intuition so you can feel it. And then you have, last but not the least, you have to have a character. Your character makes you credible, and that's how you are going to communicate. And with your communication and your credentials and your credibility, that's you are going to connect. So how to connect with the people? Again, this is another question I get all the time. Go to their world, get into their shoes, empathize it, how they feel. You know, worst part in our society, especially I belong to a certain part of the world where leaders, the richest people, are representing the poorest people in the universe. They've never been in their shoes. They don't know what the poverty means to them. Their kids, their factories, their companies are overseas. They don't even live there. And they are talking about, oh, I want to fight for your rights. They don't even know the problems are. So my point is, that's not, you have to go in their world to feel it. And again, you always communicate from your heart. Feel it, then you will see the real picture. So find the key to their life, what they need to be. Now, let's come to, we are coming to the end. The ninth part, or ninth way to become influencer is empower others. That's another problem, because a lot of time when people, and especially I'm talking about leaders, they are so insecure, so they don't want to empower someone because they are in a fear that they are going to take over and they are going to replace me. But those are incompetent and insecure leaders. If you are a competent and a confident leader and you know what you do and you have integrity in your life, you don't have to worry about it. When you pull someone up, you go automatically up. But when you push somebody down, you go down. Simple. So try to pull others. You have to empower people. You have to guide them, lead them, pull them so they can go up. Obviously, you will go up. That's how you become a better leader and you become a better influencer for them. Because you have to open the doors for others and let them get better. Because like I said, your people are real assets they appreciate, not those goods which we wrote on the papers. They depreciate. So try to appreciate their work and their enthusiasm and try to move them up. Because empowerment decisions are very important as a leader. When you are going to be an influencer, you have to know everything before you make a decision. You have to know first than anybody else if you want to make a decisions about someone, and then you will be the primary person who's going to look at people, and so they are going to help them, and then you represent them, not yourself. So these are key factors. So empowerment means to me is seeing, saying, sharing, and showing. That's all. You have to see individual and the proper fit to their job. If you are a hiring person, make sure you see before you hire them. Then you encourage them, words of encouragement by saying it. Always try to recognize, and always recognize publicly. Because when you recognize someone, wow, awesome job, good job, what do you think he or she is going to think about you? Wow, what a nice boss I have. And you are building your influence. Same thing, you share your knowledge and experience and influence with them. Don't try to hide your knowledge, hide your experience. No, you share with them. That's how they are going to get influenced. That what kind of boss I have. I wish I want to be like her, or I want to be like him because he's my boss. He's so friendly. He's so honest. He knows his job and he tried to teach me. He's trying to teach me and he's making me the same way like he is. Everybody's going to love that. Then show them how to do that job. So last but not the least, 10th way is just reproduce others. Because when you come to this level, 360-degree around you people, whether your bosses, your subordinates, on the side wings, you're equally, I mean, the level of leadership there in the company, they all are going to look at you. Wow, what a person she or he is. Since he got in this company, everybody's going to start liking you, loving you, and will be influenced by you because you change the whole paradigm. Because there is a difference between a manager and a leader. Let me just give you a quick definition. Managers are the people who manages people, process, and performances. But leaders are the people who develop the people, process, and performances. There's a huge difference. So make sure you're not managing people. Nobody wants to be managed. They want to be led by you. And as an influencer, you're leading them. So make sure you are leading them and you're reproducing. And once you reproduce, few more, like Andrew has another Andrew in the same corporation. Now company got 2 Andrews, not 1. So the production is going to go up. So what's going to be the ultimate result? Obviously, everybody is going to be benefited by that. All are going to get bonuses and raise and everything. So everybody is going to love you. Thank you, Andrew, you did that. So we all got raised for it. Correct? That's how it happens. Same thing. So my point is, you build and you reproduce people, and that's the level of respect I was telling you earlier, that you have done for so many, so much, and so long, that you don't have to do anything. People will carry your legacy. People will love you. So make sure there is a survey, and I will just wrap it up, that 85% of the leaders attract followers. Keep in mind, 85% the leaders, they attract followers because they are insecure. They're afraid of. So they just want a follower because that's how they keep their title and position and their privileges and perks, and they want a right parking spot right at the door of the office so people can see who I am. But 10% people, 10% of leaders attract leaders, the other leaders in the organization, in the corporation, in the community. And only 5% people or the leaders, they produce the other leaders. So if you reproduce people, you become in top 5%. That's why you are so respectful for the entire organization. So how can I reproduce other leaders? Number one, you have to model good leadership. Whoever you are admired of. If you like Nelson Mandela, you like Gandhi, you like whoever in your office, in your corporation, in your industry, just follow someone. Don't mimic it, don't copy it, don't cheat that. Just model it. I want to be like him or better than him because you are unique. Don't try to be that. Just try to be like. Then you produce your leadership training for those people. If you are the boss, if you want to influence them, you train them. Then you provide them resources. Then you share your experiences with them. That's how you got to that level. And then you create a growth environment around you. So people will say, wow, these are true leaders. He influences me. I'm so humble and following him or her because you already created this environment. So a growth environment is a place where others are ahead of you. So don't worry about that, obviously, wherever you go, because that's how you're modeling people. Then you are still challenged. So it doesn't mean that your challenge is over because you are still challenged. You have to, like I said, when you go to the top, you get a very few choices left. So you have to be more hardworking and all that. And you focus always forward. You look at forward. Then you're always out of your comfort zone. A good leader, a good influencer is always in a creative zone, not in a comfort zone. because comfort zone never takes you to the next level. Then always wake up excited. I got another day. Oh my gosh, I'm going to make this day for myself and the rest of the people who are, I'm going to come in touch with them. All right. Then failure doesn't bother me because failure is part of your journey. If you are not prepared to fail, you're not going to get any significance in your life, period. You may have a little bit success here and there, but to become a significant person, an influencer, you have to be prepared for failures because failures are the real teachers. So always celebrate your failures, not your victories, because success is not a destination, it's a journey. Wherever you get, you have another milestone there. You have to go further and then you have to go further. It never stops. But the process teaches you those lessons through your failures, where you become better and better and better in your life. Then always you have to have a willingness to change yourself. If you don't grow yourself, if you are not better than yesterday, you already wasted a day in your life because you're still there. It may be a new word. You have to learn something. It may be a new gesture. Learn something which I didn't know yesterday. So in this way, you're going to grow. And once you're going to grow, people are going to look at you because I said they are visual. They are looking your growth. So just imagine the growth is modeled and always expected out of you. So my friends, thanks for giving me time. It's a very huge subject. I'm sorry, I can't go in detail, but I believe it's going to help you a little bit at your workplace or wherever you are. And if you have any question or you have any concern, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm already on social media everywhere, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever you name it, LinkedIn. I don't even know the names, but my people, they do for me. So feel free to reach out to me. And I'm very honored and humbled to be here and hope you enjoyed this conversation. Thank you very much and God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Dr. Faz. Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. I mean, grow up to go up is the mantra that we all need to follow. And thank you. I do have a small question, if I may.
Sure.
Uh, so, especially concerning to the last point that, you need to reproduce, right? But then a lot of influencers seldom have any successes. Is it
Mhm.
because that they're so much valued that you just have a comparative statistic that you don't want another person who is equally unique to be a successor? You just don't see that person who is equal competence to what the influence is. You don't see them. I Even if it's a 5 percentile, you still have that comparative statistics, right?
Great question, because like I said, there are two kind of leaders around, and majority is the leaders who feel themselves, although they are not, but they feel themselves a little insecure, or they don't want themselves to be replaced by someone. All right, but that's why I said there are only 5% people who create that legacy and reproduce people, and those are the people that always get remembered in the history of mankind. Like I said, Gandhi. He never had a title or position. You all know that. So you don't need a title. Let me tell you one thing before we finish, that an influencer or a leader, they don't need a title or position. They don't need that. Position needs a leader, basically. You may, even if you are in the middle of the pack in your corporation, still you can lead the rest. I go in a lot of great companies. Because of company, they are in 100 Fortune companies. I work with them. And you're not going to believe their top three people are not as competent as their middle management guy who's leading the whole pack and producing the great results. So my point is, there is a problem there. Yes, you're right. But again, that's why they are 5%. So are you in that 5%? Like I said, 5 levels of leadership. We were talking about position, permission, production, and people development. Up to the people development, let me give you two things. The number one level, like in 5, those position was what? Position and The last one, which was respect level, was pinnacle, like the peak or personhood. These two levels you don't control, keep in mind, because position is given by someone to you. They appointed you. What was your effort in that? But just you applied that, you went for an interview, that's all you did, but that was their discretion whether they appointed you or not. And the same thing on the fifth level, you don't control that. Who gives you respect? Not yourself. People are going to give respect to you. So the only entire life we fight in our influence and our leadership, second, third, and fourth level. Like I can do the permission level, means I can build the relationship with my team. That's, I have the control on that. Same thing, I can show the production by knowing what I do for my living. People will recognize that. And then I can help others to develop like myself. But these are under my control, not the first level, not the fifth level. So you're asking me about fifth level, you don't control that. You have to have influence and they will respect you and they will model you. And that's how they are going to become, just like you did someone at some point of your life, whether you accept it or not. A lot of time people say, I'm a self-made man. And that's the biggest lie I ever heard in my life. I said, oh, hold on. Did you stay 9 months in your mother's stomach or belly? No. So how you are self-made? Somebody in our life, when we learned walking, talking, everything, somebody help us. So there is nobody who said, I am a self-made, because self-made people don't go that far. If you are on the Mount Everest by yourself, what's the fun there? Do you think you're successful? No, you were just a climber and climbed there. But if you have people along with you, then we are going to have a party. We are going to celebrate. We are going to cheer. We are going to high five. That's how you can enjoy the life, when you have a team along with you, when you develop others, you take with you on that. Don't try to be what you say, like, don't try to be a travel agent in your life, be a tour guide. What the travel agent does, he gives you a fancy brochure and, sir, well, you're going to have fun and this and that, and here's your ticket, and here's your mind, give me your check. And when you ask them, have you been there? No, sir, I never been in even in an aeroplane. But he's showing you all the stupid things because he memorized those just to sell it. So be a tour guide, that you are going to say, yes, I have been there millions times, and that's what I do for my living. I'll walk you through that and I will show you everything which you would like to see. So in your life, same thing, try to be a tour guide rather than a travel agent. That's all I can say. Any other question? If you have, feel free. I'm here.
I threw one into
Excellent.
the
Yes, sure, sir.
I threw one into the chat session. You know, one of the things you talked about early on, we were talking about leadership, is that one should choose, you know, who can best multiply your influence to others. So sort of piggybacking on Priya's question, it was, how big of a factor would that be when you're trying to choose someone to mentor, when you're trying to find people that may help you multiply your influence down the road by bringing them up and getting them up where they can take over and do the same. You talked about multiple Andrews. Don't know if you're referring to me or not, but not sure the world needs. I'm not sure the world needs multiple Andrews. I'm worried about that. But beyond that, so anyway, that was sort of the question.
No, like I said, see, 85% are the people, they don't want to even hang out with anyone. They just want to keep their title and position, and they think that that's the highest success they already got. And most of the time what happens, and this is a funny thing I'm going to tell you, a lot of time they ask me a question. People come to me, oh, sir, I have a 15 years of experience. I said, really? He said, yes, sir, I have 15 years of experience. I've been working in this company for 15 years. I said, tell me the truth. Do you really have a 15 years experience, or you have only 1 year experience? You have done 15 times. It's two different things. Because you're sitting at that position and not growing. It doesn't make you the experience, all right? You're getting older, of course. but you are not getting experience. So a lot of time, 85% people do that. I got a title. Why should I tell anybody else? And why should I teach that? But only 10% people, they hang out with leaders. They at least discuss. They try to get appreciation from other leaders so they feel better. So my point is, Andrew, you may not be in 80, definitely I can say you are already, you already got exempted from those 85%, but now you're in either first 10 or 5. So that you have to decide where you are, but still you are better than 85%. Be proud of that. That's all I say. You all are leaders. You're listening here. You're talking. You're asking questions. You are not an average person.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So obviously, yes, it's not going to be for everyone to multiply. I told you, it's so difficult. It takes a courage. It takes a wisdom. It takes a integrity. Like I said, you have to nurture people. You have to grow them, and you have to bring them at that level. That's the most important part. Anyone else?
Thank you, Dr. Faz. It's an amazing session.
Thank you.
I mean, it provided a lot of insight and what to look for, where to get our metal. You know, thank you very much. And if we have any further questions,
Feel
we
free.
would like to reach out to you via social media or with your contact information.
Sure.
And we will share this session link also with you as well. Thank you very much again, and we hope we'll meet you one more time in the coming sessions. Thank you. Thanks to all the Rotarians and other guests joined today. It's wonderful to have this evening, all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, and I adjourn
Thank you
this
very
meeting.
much.
Thank
God
you,
bless.
Assistant Governor Andrew, for joining us today and for your time. And thank you all Rotarians and our guests. And we value our time. And thank you, Dr. Faz. It's truly a great takeaway that we are all, uh, you know, uh, taking from this session and hoping. We are good listeners first, and we influence ourselves to just influence the society.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. God bless.